over and need nursing home level care, but want to keep living where you are, check out Providence Elder Place PACE. This program offers healthcare, housing, transportation, and recreational activities. There are no co-pays or deductibles, and it's covered through Medicare and Medicaid. Providence Elder Place PACE works to keep you healthy and in your home. Call 206-320-5325 or visit providence.org Elder Place. Providence.org Elder Place.
What up, y'all? Check out the show. Check out the big show. I'm talking about the Traffic Jam, Drive Time Radio, Dirty Harry Radio, of course, Rainier Avenue Radio, Traffic Jam 4 to 6. If I could say it in multiple languages, I would, but I only know one. Not going to fake the funk. In the studio with my guy,
Kareem the Dream, the executive producer for Rainier Avenue Radio.
And all the females, all the beautiful women out there telling me he really is a dream. And I'll say, you know what? That's all I needed to hear. Too much information, but Dirty Harry. All right, check out the show Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 on Rainier Avenue Radio. Contest, in-studio interviews, play-by-plays. We give you the ingredients. We're your chefs in the kitchen. Let's go. Kareem the Dream, Dirty Harry, Rainier Avenue Radio. Come on.
Welcome to the Fitness Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bryant, and you're going to get a whole total body workout on my show, starting off with a warm-up, aerobics, strength training, cool down, and stretching every Friday from 11:30 to 12 right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
All of us have struggled through the COVID-19 pandemic, and many of our communities have been particularly hard hit. Some things definitely need to change, but a few things stay the same. Like protecting your child from serious diseases you can prevent now. Preventable diseases like measles, mumps, and whooping cough. Is camp, childcare, or in-person school on your family's agenda? Give your child a healthy and safe summer and school year by making sure they're up to date on vaccinations and well child visits. You have the power to protect. Call your healthcare provider to find out what vaccinations your child is due for and make an appointment today. If you need help finding a provider, visit parenthelp123.org or call the Help Me Grow Washington hotline at 1-800-322-2588. An interpretation is available.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate affinity, with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm here flying solo today. Tina Lombard is at a big conference in Denver with Bling Express. Now, it's a Netflix thing. I don't know what it's all about. She's going to show us a clip when we see her next week. So looking forward to seeing that. And before we go into our show with our special guest, Marlina Velasco, I want to give you a market update and go over some notes from my John L. Scott sales meeting today on what is happening out there in the real estate world. So let's look at our inventory for King County. I am looking at 589 active listings out there, and 683 of them sold at an average price of $1,082,000 compared to last year with $971,000. We are looking at an 11% increase in pricing. In Pierce County, we have 337 active listings, and 317 are have been sold for $577,000. With last year being at $514,000 as an average price. That is a 12% increase, again, back to double digits for Pierce County from last week's report. And then in Snohomish County, Active listings of 289,000. Sold inventory 233. Looking at an average price of 736,000. And last year, 663,000 was your average sold price. That's an 11% increase. So we're looking at 12% in all three of our key markets here in the Puget Sound area. And then I wanted to get into some notes from today, real key, real important information. Now, there's a number of things happening in the market right now. Summertime, there's a typical lull in the market where people are traveling, not really looking at buying right now, but the backlog of buyers are still there, waiting for that home to pop up that they've been waiting for. So they're not going away. Market is still hot, but buyers are pausing a little bit from the high prices. So they're looking at, is this going to be the affordable price for me? Maybe not. Maybe I can let this one go and wait for another one. So they're doing a little thinking about what's happening out there in the market. So that's a good thing. And this, with more inventory in the market, prices will tend to come down a little bit, but there are still going to be multiple offers. Sales will be more likely closer to the list price than all the bidding wars out there. And there are review dates being looked at, but maybe it's easing up on that as well. They may be getting removed because people don't know right now how many offers are coming in, less written offers. There's a number of cracks happening in the business, but the buyers are still driving the bus, driving this market insane, and investors are one of them. Just looking really quick at King County year to year, the appreciation, you could say it's an average of 20%. It's 20, 30, 40%. Maybe it'll continue. Who knows? But the end of June, we saw the active listings here in this area at the highest level since November. And the volume of new listings in the market is the highest that it's been in the last 17 years. Can you believe that? Some people are, the eviction moratorium. It's going to be lifted September 30th. And so we'll see what happens with the inventory at that time. And we're looking at rates. You're asking about rates. We have a 30-year fixed mortgage at 3.15%. And the 15-year fixed conventional rate is at 2.39. So folks, the rates are still low. The market is still hot. A lot of new inventory out there. So if you are in need of any help in whether you're a buyer, seller, renter, investor, do give me a call. And you see my number there on the screen. And I forgot to say that if you needed to get a hold of Tina or I at any time outside of this show, you can call us at 206-717-4490. Okay, there you have it. That's our market update for this week. Now I want to introduce to you Marlina Velasco Barker, Coach M. Hi, Marlina. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So ramped up and excited.
Well, we've lived through 2 years now of this pandemic.
Right.
People are into health. People are trying to exercise and be ready for the new norm, whatever that turns out to be. Most of the stuff is being done at home. And you have dedicated your life's work, your passion into diet, nutrition, fitness. I met you a few years ago, and believe me, folks, she knows what she's doing. She loves her work. She loves helping people. And as a matter of fact, her company name is Build Your Best You. What more can you say than that? right? And I just want to encourage everyone to give Marlina a call. She'll give you her contact information in a little bit. But Marlina, tell us about yourself. Where has your journey taken you and what's happening with the pandemic? I know you used to do some events, but you have a virtual fitness studio, right?
I do. And
Let's hear about it.
Yes, I'm going to give you the condensed version. It's very important right now, especially with everything that's going on, and not just the pandemic, but there's a shift in the way that people are getting their workouts in. And so home workouts are the thing. They've been the thing for a long time. And what's really, for me, a very personal thing that happened during the start of the pandemic and even up until now is that everybody is literally clamoring and like texting. My phone, I'm not kidding you, is completely like on nonstop ringing, and I'm getting text messages from everyone with this question: what the heck am I going to do with this COVID-20? It's not COVID-19, it's the COVID-20. And they start pointing to body parts, and it's the thing, right? So my personal story and my personal journey goes all the way back to when I actually was overweight. I felt awful all the time. I felt tired all the time. And I did have a pre-cancer diagnosis, and thankfully I'm completely over that. I'm so over that. But in order for me to be over that, I had to change my lifestyle dramatically. So Violeta doesn't even know a lot of this stuff about me, but I quit smoking, I quit drinking, I quit all the negative input that I was getting from coworkers. The job that I was in was negative, and it was toxic. It was a toxic environment, you guys. And so what I did is a complete major renovation. Speaking of real estate terms, I completely did a TI, okay? And the reason I needed to do that is because this body right here, this dwelling, this house I get to live in, I only get to live in one time. And so for me, that transformation happened about 2003. And like I said, I completely dramatically changed everything about what I put in my mouth, who I surround myself with, and I even changed where I live because of the toxic environment I was in. So that said, in the pandemic, what happened is my mom got sick. We moved our entire life to Wapato, Washington, in the middle of the sticks. For those of you that know Washington, and there was hardly any internet. It was not that great, but we made do. And we brought all the equipment that you see right here in my current, living room. We actually have this little apartment mother-in-law that we remodeled for my mother when she got sick because we moved her here. And here's what happened, you guys. 2 to 3 times a week, I told everybody, hey, we're moving. So can you follow us to Eastern Washington via Zoom? And they were like, heck yeah, we can't miss out on working out with you. So 2 to 3 times a week, we put together what I now term as a virtual gym, or it's actually online metabolic training, and it's a virtual gym. And so everywhere and anywhere where I am, everywhere and anywhere my students are, they can follow the routine and work out with us. So very basic equipment is all you need. And so Violeta, I'm going to pause there for a moment. And I know you've got some questions you want to throw at me. So I'm going to give it back to you.
Well, yeah. So we're talking about exercise equipment, and I see the very basics here. So yeah, I was thinking, do we need the treadmill, the Peloton bike, the elliptical machine? You have like resistance bands there and foam rollers I thought I saw on the floor. So yeah. Tell us what is absolutely necessary. You're in a small space. I'm in an apartment. I need minimal stuff. I have no room. So, what do we do? Where do we go?
First of all, pick a room that in your heart and in your spirit that gives you energy, because you need energy to output energy to work out. So it needs to be well lit. We've got 2 windows that are coming into this 2-bedroom apartment. Basically, it's a mother-in-law apartment in the basement of a 7-bedroom house that we live in Green Lake, if you want to know where. And so these 2 natural light windows come right in and floods the room. That is so key, you guys. And if you're, especially if you're a renter, and, I went ahead and opened up the blinds so that you could see me in the natural light. the light itself gives you energy that you need to get a workout in. Secondly, you also want to have just enough room for 3 items. And Violeta sent me some questions. So I want to just give you 3 items. You need a mat of some kind, because if you have a hardwood floor, you need something to soften and or cushion your elbows and your knees when you're getting on your knees or your elbows and your hands. And then you want 3 sets of equipment. You want bands, and this is for people who want to tone their muscle or tone their body as well as release body fat. And you can get a lot done with these bands. There's a lot of different strengths out there. So don't do what I did. Don't test it out. Just look up the manufacturer's stats, or the manufacturer's, what would you call them? Basically the description of each of these bands so that you know how strong they are. Don't go by the color. I made a complete fool of myself in front of a class one day, and I was like, let me see how strong, how resistant is this really? And I tweaked my shoulder because it was like 100-pound band. And so make sure that you're looking at the manufacturer's specifications when you're shopping for bands. There's some great deals out there that include the ones with the handles. And these TheraBands is the brand of this brand, and it doesn't have handles. However, what I love, watch this, you guys. Violeta asked me, where can people store these? All you have to do is, you don't even have to neatly fold it. You can just scrunch it up like this. And right behind me is one of my drawers, right? I just made enough room in my drawer, and I can literally take all of these bands and just scrunch them all up and shove them in my drawer and call it good, right? So don't worry about dumbbells. Don't worry about a whole bunch of fancy equipment. You can get a lot done, both muscle building as well as engage your cardiovascular health or your cardiovascular system by doing things that are quick and fast. We call them high intensity interval training sets. 15 minutes and you are sweating and you're done. So those are the kind of classes I teach. So if you want to join our virtual gym, I'm giving a month away for free to all of you viewers and listeners of this show. Come and check it out. Go ahead and get in touch with me. MarlinaVelasco.com is my main website. 2 more things. So that's basically 1 piece of equipment, right? The mat is 2, and 3, it's very, very important for you to keep your flexibility. And the reason for that is because you can injure yourself doing those other things if you don't focus on things that are keeping your muscles flexible, pliable, movable. Mobility work is very important. So I know that that's not going to be all females listening to this, but I did bring the pink one. Here's the orange one for you men. And get this, as far as portability is concerned, this is my really small, and this is a Trigger Point Performance brand. You can buy this on Amazon or online directly from the manufacturer. And the reason I love this one is it literally can fit in a luggage, and you can put clothes in between if you don't want this space to be taken up in your luggage. Put a blouse or a top in here, and it just goes right in your luggage. The other thing that you can use this for, and I know we're running out of time, so I'll be quick, is you can just connect it to your backpack and it can go wherever you go. So those are the 3 pieces of equipment in the home gym that are essential. And where do you store them? In the drawer. And then for those of you that are familiar with storing mats, you just roll it up and stick it in the closet. Pretty simple, right?
Hey, yes, yeah. Thank you. I love the portability of all that stuff. We're going to go to a quick break and then come back and finish up and then talk about the kitchen.
Sounds good.
All right.
To Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. Real estate and money.
Okay, everyone, Tina, I don't know if Tina mentioned to you, Marlina, that she remembers you from when you were also a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
How everyone, look at this woman. She did it all and she got into shape, and I wish we had pictures of you as a bodybuilder. in competition. She has an amazing body, everyone.
Well, guess what? All you have to do is just Google my name, and trust me, that red bikini is going to show up for you.
Awesome. Oh, that's so great. And then now we move into the kitchen where nutrition, diet, and the exercise all falls into place. And we're at home now and trying to be a better us. And with Marlina's help, she will help you figure out what's in your cupboard that you need to toss out. Maybe there's some, pre-processed stuff you don't need. You probably want to migrate more towards the fresh fruits and vegetables, spices more than, anything out there. Get rid of the refined sugars and tell us what else you think we should be doing as far as meal planning and making sure we're using the good stuff for our bodies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So a couple of things I wanted to do is just say, that the requirements of someone who really wants to have a long-term, or I call it longevity mindset when it comes to your health and fitness, it starts in the kitchen. I mean, yes, we work out 2, 3, 4 times a week, but it really starts in the kitchen. It's foundational. And the reason that's important for me to point out is because a lot of people work out like a fiend, 2, 3 hours in the gym or 7, 8, 9 times a week, but then they're not really making any progress. And so where it really happens for many people and where you're making the biggest impact is everything that goes in your mouth. And so like Violeta said, definitely, and it's kind of now, I want to say a given, that processed foods are not going to give you the positive impact that you're looking for or the results that you're looking for. And so what I tell people is processed sugar, stimulants like caffeine, they're going to wreak havoc in your system. I'm not saying to you get rid of all of it or get rid of that it's an all or nothing kind of thing, but really just pay attention to how much of those things are in your foods that you're eating. And then more importantly, whole foods are really what is going to help you build a better version of you and build the muscle mass that is going to empower you and help keep you strong and structurally sound. It is so important. One of my mantras, if you remember nothing else about this show today, is muscle is magic. Muscle, and I'll stick another word in there that might be kind of complicated, but really important. Muscle is metabolic magic. So what would you want to put in your body to make muscle? Well, first of all, plant-based is kind of a buzzword these days. And yes, my husband, Mitch, and I are plant-based. However, a lot of people discriminate against people that are eating mostly plants because they think, where are you going to find the protein, Coach M, right? So I put out a spread here for everybody, and I will share this also with Violeta. I'll send a link to the video on how to make this. I put it on Instagram, and I also put it on my Facebook feed. But it's a very simple recipe to a really healthy snack, and these are all the contents, and that's it. And a lot of people complicate their cooking. They complicate their meal prep. And so what I want to say to you is the ingredients that are the most simple that you can pronounce, that you shouldn't have the label around, and sit there and read it for 15 minutes until you figure out that everything in it is something you should be putting in your body. And I know I'm talking really fast, but to keep it simple, again, whole foods that can sit on the counter, right? That can sit on the counter for a little bit, has a little bit of shelf life. So oatmeal is a really foundational thing that we eat on a daily basis. We've been eating peanut butter, and then we're eating a lot of chia seeds, hemp hearts, because those are all protein-rich foods. And guess what? Plant-based. We also have been using a vegan protein. Most recently, my nephew, who owns a gym, started his own protein company in Linwood. And so, of course, we want to support his business. And that's been a great addition. So I put all of these ingredients together. I put it in a bowl, I mix it up almost like a cookie dough, and I make little, I call them protein bites. And they're little shaped like little balls, and they taste amazing. And also I forgot to put up here is the hemp milk or soy milk that you add to gel it all together. So something simple like that, that's non-baked. Again, try to stay raw. You can't be raw on anything, but the most important thing is making sure, and I'll finish off with this, having a balance of these 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and healthy fats, and making sure that every single meal has all 3 components. So I'll leave you with that.
Okay. Now I don't see any honey in there. Is it sweet enough without honey and all those ingredients for your little snack bites?
Believe it or not, it is. And where that little sweetening comes from is it's going to come from a little bit of the natural sweetener or sweetness of peanut butter. And then some of it comes from the stevia, from the vegan protein.
Ah, yes.
And it tastes amazing. And again, balanced with all the macros.
Well, we're going to have to get your recipe for that snack. That's going to be awesome. And I was just curious, Marlina, what is that big appliance above you to your left?
Good question. It's one of our favorites. In fact,
what is it?
This is an air fryer.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that's going to be, it's one of the new things that's trending right now, right? So
it absolutely is. And let me tell you, this gets used at least 4 or 5 times a day.
Really?
And, yep. And one of the things that we cook, or I should say that we air fry, because it's not really cooking. First of all, you're not having to use any kind of oils, right? And so the less of that, the better. So we put tofu in here. We put vegetables in here. We pretty much put everything in there. Our next purchase is going to be a dehydrator. I'm really excited about that. And so we're kind of using these 2, the oven and the microwave and the stovetop, less and less every day, because we're trying to stay as raw as possible. And, the other thing that you may have seen on here is our rice cooker. We use this to cook quinoa and, of course, rice. And we sometimes will combine brown rice and quinoa in here and cook it just like you would rice. Yeah. And we make enough of it. As you can see, this is like a 5-cup one. And we make enough of it, pardon me, so that it stores for several days. You don't want to just make one batch and then you're done. So that, because we're all really busy, right?
Right.
So from a meal planning perspective, we literally cook batches. Just like if 12 people were coming over to our house and staying with us, we put everything in containers. Glass is preferred. Some of it goes into the freezer and the rest goes in the refrigerator. And you must eat it 3 to 4 days after you cook it. Hope that helps.
Yes, it does. And I am convinced now that you've shown me your air fryer, that you use it all the time. I always have been telling people, no, I don't have them because I don't have room on my countertop. Well, if I get rid of all the other stuff, I would have room for the one.
You would. And guess what? The other piece to that is, because we're not using these 2 others as much anymore necessarily, you literally could replace 2. I mean, like, we very rarely use a toaster anymore. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think that from an ergonomic standpoint, or from a having enough room standpoint, you asked this question in your list of questions, and that is, what would a healthy and fit lifestyle kind of person need? It's pretty basic. One more appliance that's not here, it's upstairs.
Okay.
Is our basically the thing that grinds up all of the vegetables. It's what we make smoothies with. So whether that's a Vitamix for you or some sort of other thing that pulverizes food, and there's a lot of brands out there, but Vitamix happens to come to mind. That's another appliance that doesn't take up very much square footage on your counter, and we use that.
Okay. Wow. Okay, like a NutriBullet or whatever those are called, some Ninja food processor or something.
Yep, yeah. We've had all of those. We've used all of them.
What about that Instant Pot?
You know what? We personally haven't gone there, and the reason is because we work at home. And so we don't mind prepping, a couple of times, sometimes even 3 times a week. But I do recommend that for 3 kinds of people. Big families, because you can make a big Instant Pot of whatever, right? Single guys or single gals that don't have a big family, but they're busy, they're out there, they're living life. and it's just for them. I believe that is the type of family or the type of people that are now using Instapots quite a bit. We do have one, actually we have two, but it's just not something that we've adapted in our lifestyle. The reason being that we're trying to go plant-based and raw as much as possible.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much, Marlina, today. And it's been awesome information. And please go to marlinavelasco.com. You see her name spelled there. She will help you out with any questions you may have. And I thank you all for coming today and visiting with Marlina and I. And we look forward to seeing you next week at 2:30 on Tuesdays every week. And we will see you with Tina back in studio. So thank you.
You've been listening to Real Estate and Money with your hosts, Violeta, Strash, and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune in to our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.